It's knitting time. Hello Guardians and welcome back to the Concept Creation Chamber here on the channel. My name is Cyberprime and last time we discussed my ideas for new Stasis Supers. And you seem to really enjoy it. So as promised, we are here now to discuss my first wave of ideas for new Strand Supers. So sit back, relax, and pet that threadling sitting on your lap, Guardians, because it's the threadling's lap now, as we discuss new concept Strand Super ideas. Now, real quick, before we get into today's episode, if you enjoy this video at all, please let me know with a comment, like, or subscribe. Or all three if you're a completionist looking for the trophy, as it really genuinely does help me out. And also, as a disclaimer, these ideas are simply that. Ideas I think would be fun in Destiny. They may not be meta or fully thought out, but that's where you guys come in. I want you to let me know any ways that you think these ideas could be improved. And while you're there, let me know your own ideas for new Strand Supers down the line. So without further ado, I, of course, am a Warlock main. So what better class to start with than Titans? Titans are actually an interesting case to start with, because I actually had a full concept designed before the last video released. But I saw in the comments of that video that a lot of you wanted one burst damage super, instead of a roaming super. So you guys are gonna be eating good today, Titan mains. I'll give you both my ideas, and you can tell me which you prefer. All the other classes, well I say all, there's only two others, they'll be getting one super concept each. You guys, you're getting two. First up, Ballista. As a once-off damage super, the Titan channels their strand and pulls together large strands of power before them, and shapes them into a large ballista-style ethereal structure. Think of like a giant green slingshot if you want to keep it simple, but I am imagining a mostly complete ballista for this. The Titan, from a stationary position, pulls back the strands to create a giant, massive Guardian-sized strand needle to aim. They then pull their trigger button to fire the giant strand needle towards a boss or group of enemies to deal a massive burst of instant damage, and cause nearby surviving enemies to become tangled. I think the challenge of having to be completely stationary for a few moments when casting the super, only about a second or two, adds to the challenge of casting the super. Which in the end of the day, I think would be cool. Having the skill to pull off the most powerful moves in the game effectively should be rewarding, and having slightly riskier supers would fill in this gap, even if only a little bit. Aspects. The first aspect is inspired by Golden Gun, where instead of one massive needle, the Titan can instead fire 3 smaller needles that do less damage each and create smaller areas of effect for the tangling of enemies. The second aspect is admittedly a bit wacky, but bear with me, I just had the idea and I thought I should include it. When casting the super, instead of loading a large strand needle, the Titan will hold on to the ballista and launch themselves when firing. This will turn them into a much faster strand version of Thunder Crash that cannot be steered once it is fired. And obviously it will deal strand damage rather than arc upon impact. Again, it's a bit Looney Tunes, but I thought it could be fun. And now, don't say I never did anything for you Titans. Here was my original idea for a semi-roaming strand super called Wrecker. In this super, once the Titan casts it, they will become instantly covered in a large ball of strand, and must aim to grapple somewhere above them, as the super casting will instantly create a grapple. The Titan must swing themselves as a large strand wrecking ball, and use their momentum to launch themselves across the battlefield and into a large group of enemies, or into a boss, dealing knockback, large damage, and giving themselves woven mail after the attack in order to give them a fighting chance of finding cover, if they did not fully kill whatever they were aiming at, as they are now within handshake distance of it. And I'm assuming they don't want a handshake. The first aspect is similar to the first aspect of Ballista, where the Titan will substitute their one massive wrecking ball for high damage to a super more akin to the new Storm's Edge Hunter super. They will wrap themselves in a smaller wrecking ball and launch towards a target, dealing damage and exploding, but instantly forming into a second wrecking ball that they can use to launch another attack. This gives the super more distance and opportunities for ad clear in exchange for initial damage numbers. The second aspect I think is kind of fun, would cover the original wrecking ball in spikes. Upon casting and impact, all would remain the same as the original, except instead of causing nearby enemies to become tangled, The spikes would erupt off the ball when the wrecking ball explodes, and they would each become a threadling that will seek out enemies when they land. Probably maxing at around 4 to 6 threadlings, I would say. But we can't move on. No, not yet. I need to get appraisal for my work. I need to know that a Titan would approve of these concepts. So I contacted a Guardian. Some say this Titan main has never used Thunder Crash in his life. And as far as I am aware, that is true. It's Turtle Guy, Guardians. Alright, Turtle Guy, nice to see you again. Now, in this golden room of goldenness, I am going to explain the new super that I have for you today. And I want, like always, I say like always, we've done this once before, I want your reaction.
Okay, this is completely fictional, but Bungie is probably listening, taking notes.
Okay, so with Titans, the first one is called Ballista.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest. I'm a bit confused by this. I had a lot of questions.
Okay, what's your questions?
In my ranking system, I was ranking it quite low at what you were telling me. But then, you kind of saved it at the end there when you basically say you turn into a human cannonball.
Yeah, well, that's already a thing that can be done in Destiny 2. Of course, you would know, Turtle Guy, because you play as a Titan that can Thunder Crash.
Yeah.
And you've definitely done that before. But this would basically turn you into a really quick Strand one.
And what is a Batista?
A wrestler? What? It's
Ballista? Barista?
Ballista. Barista makes coffee. I'm a barista. A ballista is the weapon. It's like a giant mechanical crossbow.
Oh, okay. A needle. Okay, you said once off at the start, so is this like you can only ever use it once and then immediately, like, the code becomes corrupted?
No, I mean, man, it's not like a roaming one. Stop nitpicking. It's like a Nova bomb.
You brought me here. You brought me here for my opinion.
I'm slightly regretting it.
And I am giving you my regret. I beg your pardon. People love this. People love my nitpicking, probably. I don't know.
Sure, you don't know, do you? No one knows.
I didn't even know you uploaded the last video until half an hour ago.
Wait, what? Oh, okay, well, that's, of course.
I was so excited for the 200th episode. Check it out now if you haven't seen it. Episode
look
200.
At the plug of the Fire Team of Fools. He didn't say the show. That could have been The Walking Dead for all you know, but I'm putting in the show.
I don't think The Walking Dead got to 200, did it?
I don't know, there's a lot of spin-offs probably did at this stage.
Of our show, Fire Team of Fools, episode 200.
Okay, so now the next one. The next one.
Out of 10.
What?
That's what that one gets.
What?
The Turtle Guy ranking. 6 out of 10, I'm sorry.
Okay, that's better than what the other one started at, so I'll take that. So, the next one is called Wrecker. You basically jump up, you cover yourself in loads of strand like a giant yarn ball, and
I'm gonna be honest. And I'm writing shorthand notes, but the minute you said wrecking ball, I was like, literally, I doodled a wrecking ball, and I was like, this would look dope if it had some spikes. And you know what you added? You added some goddamn spikes. 10 out of 10! I love this!
Hey, that's the first
10
one!
Out of 10!
That's the first one! We got a 10 out of 10!
Possibly I'd change the name from Wrecker to Wrecking Ball, but Wrecker's good.
Well, I was just like, they're all like thread.
I like it, you did a good job.
I was trying to think of something that wasn't just Wrecking Ball. As in like the
know,
Overwatch character.
Plain and simple.
No, we're not,
you know,
I don't want to go back to Overwatch.
What?
Never mind, we kept referencing Overwatch in the last one, it doesn't matter. Now, let's move on to Warlock, the class for the distinguished Gentle Guardian. I joke. But anyways, I am going with a more experimental style of super this time, so I understand that many of you may dislike it, because it's not boom boom explosions, but I want to push the limits of how weird the support role of the Warlock can be. So I designed a new roaming super for Warlock that has no damage use directly, but instead focuses completely on supporting your allies. Allow me to introduce you to Soulbinder. This super binds every Guardian of the Fire Team together within lines of sight with thick weaves of strand. It doesn't actually pull them together, but it's just like that's the visual effect. Almost like tentacles from the Warlock to their allies. These strands grant the other Guardians slowly replenishing woven mail, and if it would be possible, more importantly, shares buffs. So to explain my concept for this, as it is what would really make this super special, if one team member is amplified, then all of a sudden, every teammate currently tethered to the Warlock becomes amplified also. And it may be really broken, but if the devs and Bungie could work their magic, exotic buffs would transfer across all Guardians also. So if there's an exotic that increases a certain weapon damage, perhaps like Battle Harmony, that would work across all Fire team members if it procs for one. Or things as simple as Devour activating on one character, causing all the Fire team members affected by the super to regen health for the brief window while the super is active. I am aware that the exotic buffs might be a bit too over the top, so we can kind of ignore that. Even the standard subclass and elemental buffs transferring would do realistically. But to add a need for skill and practice, this super could also transfer negative debuffs. So if one Guardian is suppressed by a Tormentor, let's say, all the rest are suppressed also. But that might be too cruel. This super might also grant infinite melee charges to the Warlock who casts it, as in very, very fast recharging melee charges, while the super is active. Aspects. Aspect number 1 could swap out the infinite melee charges for new, slowly recharging Strand Souls that will shoot out strand projectiles and tangle targets. They will only be deployed if teammates do damage or get specific numbers of kills, and will spawn from the allies that got the kills rather than the Warlock position itself. Another aspect could be to increase the length of the super duration every time a teammate gets a kill, with each successive kill granting a smaller addition of time. So of course, I wanted to know what a Warlock would think of this idea for a super. But none of them were available, so instead I contacted a Destiny 2 player. Some say he has never completed a Nightfall, and that he doesn't even know what they are. And as far as I'm aware, they're correct. Yes, that's right, it's Turtle Guy again.
Okay. Bit more experimental, I'll give you that.
Yes, that is
unique. True. I will say it is unique. I was gonna give it an 8.5, but I'm actually gonna give it a 9. I'm curious to see how this goes, because it seems like, it does seem like, it is, yeah, I don't know, I kind of, the more I think about it, it does sound like, hey, maybe this could go somewhere.
Yeah, it's
this is like Shark Tank, but with Turtle Guy. You have my backing. Here's money.
That's definitely how that works.
50% in the company. So when Bungie publishes this, it'll say made by Turtle Guy and probably Cyberprime.
Would it not be my name first because I developed it and you get the share?
Alphabetical order, Cyber. Alphabetical order.
What do you mean? Cyberprime.
T comes before P.
Yeah, but C comes before T.
Yeah, well, you know, again, I'm the backer on this, so.
Yeah, but surely I can just refuse. I don't need your investment. These are just concepts.
Bungie is listening, and it's like, oh, it has, like, you gotta understand, Bungie is a big business. They're just gonna speed through this and go through my ranking system.
Of course, yes, that's the only thing that people...
already practically in the game right now. They're coding it in right now.
I came in like a
They've stopped working on, like, the next DLC and episode and stuff. They're like, oh, Wrecking Ball, right now!
I guess you could say it really demolished their plans.
Beautiful rendition of Wrecking Ball by Cyberprime there, everybody.
Thank you. And finally, to my personal favorite of the video other than Ballista. This is another sort of experimental super idea. But I really enjoy it because there isn't really anything like it in the game so far. The closest would be the Hunter's Stasis super, but that's only similar with a big stretch. This super is for Hunters, and is known as Cobweb. It is a once-off area of effect trap super. Hunters initially flip and stab their strand dagger into the ground, sending out a massive spider web-inspired area of effect that litters the ground with permanent strand traps. These traps will activate and instantly tangle enemies, including champions, upon them stepping on the area. This super would be an instant burst ad control trap super, which is kind of the first of its kind as far as I can see. I think hunters are not only stealthy assassins, but because their identity is so linked to surviving in the wilderness, it makes sense that they set traps while they presumably hunt for food sometimes. So I think that this could be used in conjunction with Well or other supers in order to create safer damage phases, and generally control the battlefield more easily in high ad density encounters. One aspect would be to remove the permanent timer on the trap durations and reduce their amount. If activated, they remain the exact same, but if a certain amount of time passes, and they are not activated, The remaining traps transform into a threaded spectre decoy hunter made of strand to lure enemies away from you. And a second aspect for this super would be maybe to increase the duration that enemies are tangled for, leaning more into the trapper vibe of this hunter super. In order to get verification that this super is at least passable as an experiment, I contacted a guardian. Some say that he has been playing Destiny 2 for about 5 years, and only learned this year how to infuse weapons and armor. And they are definitely right about that one as far as I'm aware. It is the one, the only, the turtle guy. So, hit me. What are your thoughts? What are the press going to say about this?
I do like the idea. The visual, however, what? You said like it'd be like what? Spiderweb?
Like a giant kind of strandy like spiderweb kind of thing, yeah. Think of the intro titles to The Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Yeah. So, do you mean a spider web or do you mean more of a trip mine?
Well,
like a wire.
Like they would function like landmines essentially, and when they step on them, then they get suspended in like strand web.
Okay, I think what I'm currently struggling with like is the visual, because I would think of a trap like a bear trap or something. But again, we're staying away from Overwatch.
It's not a bear trap. It's like they just get a bird like, and then they just set it up, and then the cabal just go. No, it doesn't.
Your ghost just starts the minute it goes in. Your ghost starts screaming like ah.
But no, it's not a bear trap. They stand on it and then they instantly explode and get suspended in midair with strand.
So it is a landmine.
Yeah, but it doesn't deal a lot of damage. It just suspends them more so. That's its main purpose.
Okay.
And then you can go around and shoot them then.
I think this one needs a little bit more work. I think you need to kind of. I like you got all the details, you got all the like how it works, but I need a stronger visual.
It's like the ground glows in the shape of a spider web, and if they stand on the spider web shape on the ground that's glowing, then they get suspended.
Maybe this is an incorrect opinion, and people in the comments let me know if you agree or disagree with me.
Everyone's free to like or dislike this.
I think this would actually be a cooler, like, stasis thing.
Maybe.
So you step on it, and then big, like, ice.
Oh, and it just jumps up and you can get frozen. Maybe. That could work. That could work.
Well, that's just... So, for your current idea, I'm gonna be nice, I'll give it a 7.5.
Man, you were way more generous this time than last time. You were, like, absolutely, like, throdding them in the dirt last time. You were standing on them. Maybe I was just in a bad mood last time. You were actively, like... pooping on them, like straight up. Now you're like all gracious. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. 2 out of the 4 of these were far more experimental. I will give you that.
Maybe it's just the fact that you can be a little bit more freer with stasis.
Stasis, you can literally make stuff. Strand, it's kind of it's very limited to the concept of like being connected and like spider webs. It is very limited.
Oh, buddy. Wait till you hear my ideas for Strand.
Oh no.
Oh yes.
And that, Guardians, is that. I hope you enjoyed this wave of super ideas, as I already have more Stasis and Strand super ideas almost ready for a future video. And thanks again for your support on this video and all my videos in general. It really means a lot. And while you're here, if you do enjoy Destiny content, why don't you check out the other challenges on my channel, and check out my Destiny 2 improv comedy narrative roleplay series, The Fire Team of Fools, here on the channel. We just released our 200th episode, and we are gearing up towards the final shape arc. And I can't wait to finish this first saga of the Fooliverse. So join in now with the chronological playlist in the description below, or if you prefer to binge, check out the multi-hour long compilation videos of the universe in the binge playlist below. And a very quick reminder that in the main series, we don't actually play the game in character until about episode 33, that's when the lore actually starts. But either way, I hope this video put a smile on your face, and made you consider the possibilities that Destiny has in the future for new abilities for us to play with. Will we ever get full new Darkness Supers? I hope so, eventually. But until then, I'm happy coming up with concepts for you guys. Let me know your thoughts and your own ideas in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next one. Have an awesome day, Guardians. Goodbye, and roll out.